We are in the middle of one of the most incredible technological shifts in human history. I'm talking, of course, about artificial intelligence. And this isn't just another shiny new gadget or a software update. No, this is a fundamental rewrite of how we work, how we live, and maybe even how we think about our own value.
So, to really get our heads around what's happening, here's how we're going to break it down. First up, we'll look at the absolutely insane speed of this AI wave. Then, we'll see who's getting hit first. And trust me, it's probably not who you think. After that, we'll talk about what happens when AI gets a body. From there, we'll figure out how we can all navigate this new world. And finally, we'll tackle the biggest question of them all. How does this change the very fabric of society? All right, let's dive in. To kick things off, we have to grasp the sheer mind-bending speed of this AI tsunami. I'm not exaggerating when I say this isn't just another tech trend. This is something we've literally never seen before.
To put this in perspective, just think about the game changers of the past. Electricity, the thing that powers our entire modern world, it took almost half a century just to get into 25% of American homes. Even the internet, which felt like it just exploded overnight, still took a full 7 years to hit that same mark. Now get ready for this. ChatGPT reached that same milestone not in 46 years, not in 7 years, but in 5 days. We're not just talking about things getting a little bit faster. This is a whole new category of adoption, and it's compounding at a rate that is just, well, it's almost impossible to comprehend. And that brings us to this quote from Tom Bilyeu, which really puts a fine point on it. He says, "This moment is for careers what a certain meteor was for the dinosaurs. We're not talking about small shifts here. For a lot of jobs, this could be a straight-up extinction-level event."
So who's in the crosshairs first? For decades, the story has been that robots would come for the blue-collar, manual labor jobs. But the reality is, the first big wave of AI is aimed squarely at cognitive, white-collar work, the jobs we thought were safe. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy anymore. Experts like computer scientist Moshe Vardi have been warning us. We are getting very, very close to a world where AI is just plain better than us at tasks that we used to think required a human brain and a college degree. So, what's the common thread here? What makes these jobs so vulnerable? Well, it all boils down to one simple word: patterns. Think about it. At its core, AI is a superpowered pattern recognition machine. So if your job consists of predictable, repeatable steps, well, you're standing right in the path of this disruption.
Then we're already seeing the fallout. Some of these are pretty obvious, right? Data entry, customer service. But the list goes way deeper. We're talking about paralegals who review standard contracts, accountants who categorize expenses all day, even software developers who are just writing routine, basic code. These are all pattern-based tasks, and AI is getting incredibly good at them.
And the potential scale here is just immense. A major report from Goldman Sachs estimated that generative AI could automate or flat-out replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs. That's not a small impact. That's a global economic earthquake.
Okay, so if disrupting our brain work was wave 1, the next wave is when AI gets a body. This is what we call embodied AI. It's where that smart software moves off the screen and into the real physical world. And you guessed it, this changes everything.
Now, you have to think about this from a business perspective for a second. This isn't just about replacing a worker, it's about swapping a human employee with all their needs like salaries, health insurance, and vacations for an asset. A robot that can work 24/7 without a single complaint. The economic incentive is just too powerful to ignore.
And make no mistake, a new global race is on. We hear a lot about Tesla's Optimus robot, and it's very cool. But companies in China, like UBTech and Limex, are actually moving faster. They are already putting their robots to work in real factories, for companies like Audi, gathering priceless data while Tesla is still showing us prototypes.
So what does this mean? It means that the jobs we always thought were safe, the ones that need hands and dexterity, are now on the chopping block. Warehouse workers are first in line. Assembly line workers are right behind them. And as you look down the road, even jobs like cleaning and home care are in the path of this robotic wave.
Okay, I know, that all sounds pretty intense. So where's the good news? How do you not just survive this, but actually come out on top? Well, the answer is right there in history. Every single one of these massive disruptions creates a whole new class of winners, and this time won't be any different.
It's easy to focus on the jobs that are lost. But history shows us that technology is a massive job creator. Just look at this stat. A staggering 85% of all job growth since 1940 has come from roles that didn't even exist before new tech made them possible. So, where is that growth happening today? Well, the data is pointing to a few key areas. We're seeing a massive boom in clean energy. Think wind turbine technicians and solar installers. And at the same time, there's a huge surge in demand for data scientists, cybersecurity experts, and, of course, healthcare workers. The strategy for the future is becoming pretty clear. You can either build and manage the AI, you can work to secure it and keep it safe, you can help power the new world that runs on, or you can lean into the jobs that require that deep, uniquely human touch, like healthcare and caring for our elderly.
Ultimately, this all comes down to a really important mindset shift. The goal isn't to try and compete against the machine. You'll lose. The real winners in this new age are going to be the ones who figure out how to collaborate with it, how to use AI as an incredibly powerful tool to amplify their own skills.
And this brings us to our last and probably the biggest question of all. This AI revolution, it isn't just about technology and jobs. It's so big, it's forcing us to rethink the fundamental social contract that connects our work to our income and our sense of purpose.
One of the biggest ideas being talked about is something called universal basic income, or UBI. The concept is pretty simple, even if it's radical. Every single citizen gets a regular, no-strings-attached payment from the government just to make sure everyone has a basic financial floor to stand on. Now, as you can imagine, UBI is a really complex idea with a huge debate around it. On one hand, people who support it say it's a necessary safety net for the age of automation, that it could slash poverty and give people the freedom to retrain or start new things. But on the other hand, opponents have some serious questions. Can we afford it? Will it cause massive inflation? And will it take away people's motivation to work?
And history gives us a pretty stark warning here. During the Industrial Revolution, there was a 50-year period that historians call Engel's pause. Productivity went through the roof thanks to new machines, but for the average person, wages and living standards went absolutely nowhere. So the critical question we have to ask ourselves now is, are we about to enter a new AI-powered version of that pause, where all the benefits go straight to the top?
Which leaves us with this. This is the ultimate question, and it goes way beyond jobs and economics. In a world where intelligent machines can do most of the work, we have to ask ourselves, what is the work of a human? What is our purpose in the incredible new world that we're building?